Hi, welcome along. This is Kym Illman, driver of the Mitsubishi Evo 9, raced by Messages on Hold. Ray Baker is my co-driver, and this is one of the runs up Mount Buller. It's fairly interesting, 16.4 kilometres. It's 10 pages of notes, and there's Ray Baker in the yellow suit. He's calling the action. Notes we use are from Vanderburg. The notes range anywhere from a 6, which we use the 1 to 6 system, a 6 being a slight deviation in the road, a 1 being a hairpin, and they grade all the way through from 1 through to 6. And unfortunately, our bloody audio out of the headsets in this particular stage did not work, hence I'm sitting here in my office at Messages on Hold looking at the video and telling you what's happening. And I do remember this corner, that was pretty quick, this left-hander here. And I think we had some notes saying apex at, aim for that yellow sign that comes up on the left. So Ray would be telling me this, and of course that Messages on Hold logo bottom of the screen, that's not actually in the car, that's something we put on afterwards. Here's another fast left-hander. This is down below the mountain. I think we come up shortly on the toll gates on the left. If you've ever been to Mount Buller, you'll know that you, in the middle of winter, have to stop there and pay an entry fee to the park. But of course, during Targa, it was free of charge. Both of us have Stillo helmets on, and we run the output out of the little Stillo amp into the back of our video camera, which normally works, but unfortunately we had a dicky jack for this one, so we were fairly buggered. But it's quite a drain, and a lot of corners. Somebody told me 120 odd plus corners, and they come up pretty quick. Lower sections, a lot of 5s and 6s. And then once you start getting up the top, they become more 3s and 2s with a couple of 1s being hairpins. On the left-hand side there, you can see there's some fairly healthy drops. And thankfully, we don't get too close to the edge to actually see how severe they are. But if you went and stuck your head over there, it might tend to slow you up a little. Or slow you down, as Tonya would suggest. This camera is mounted on the front bumper of the car. It is a Hero GoPro HD, and pretty sturdy little thing. And you will hear some pages come through as we talk you through this director's cut. In the car, on the car we have 4 cameras. That one you're seeing now is on the bumper. The one that focuses on Ray and myself while we're driving is a race cam unit that sits on the upright on Ray's side of the car, aims back at both of us, and normally records the audio. The one that sits between the two of us on the roll cage bars, you can just see it about middle shot left of Ray's head as you're looking at it. There's a lens sticking out there. That didn't work either for this run for some stupid reason, which is all part of a learning curve. Bit of sunlight, bit of shadow plays tricks on you sometimes, and you're not completely safe on the right hand side of this road either. There's some very large rocks sticking out of those that scrub there as they cut through this road, and quite frankly if you come up against them you're not going to get off too lightly either. I think there was one fella in the last stage, he was winning by 5 minutes, somebody told me, and speared off over the edge with the lovely Natasha in the car. That can be no fun. I remember too, those posts just went past here, that was our exit point, and we had a note saying accelerate when you see those twin posts. But these are ferocious corners. The weather for both runs was spectacular. I know that those people who've done Targa up the hill, Targa Mount Buller, or the Mount Buller Sprint, have done that road in some atrocious conditions where you can barely see to the end of the car. And I'm not sure I'd like to do that too much. Lucky we've got some great sponsorship from Messages on Hold, and also the Groove Gallery, both companies that, well, I own really, so I'm pretty much sponsoring myself, but we get some great response out of it, and we've got a good following on these videos, and I thank you for spending a few moments watching Mount Buller Road pass by. Most of these corners are don't cut. In other words, there's some pretty savage indents in there. And I think we did this run 4 seconds faster the second time we did it compared with the first, and the more times you do it, without a doubt, the quicker you would get. It's just a matter of learning the road. I know Paul Summers, who drives like a girl and in a very fast car, he gets it, he got this I think down to about 9 minutes and 11 for one of his runs. That right hand side there is the actual start of the marimba stage that we do going downhill, and we did that first and second day, and that's quite treacherous, especially the second day, because going up the last run of the day, which this was, your tyres get very hot, and as soon as you go through all the rubbish in the car park, all the little light gravelly bits, they get stuck in your tyres, and you pretty much have no grip until you wear them out. So going down the mountain the next day, we did that quite easily, but you're given 6 minutes to do that particular stage, and you needed nothing like that. Even I think it was an average of 67 k's an hour would have got you the 6 minute time, and there's no point going any faster because you stand to gain nothing. But I do love this camera on this front bumper. You can actually see when I pause it occasionally the grain in the asphalt. The road got very wide there, I do remember that point. That was great. It gave you a bit more room for error. The Evo is presented by, or looked after by, the boys at Rally Art, who do a great job, considering I've got very little idea what's going on. They get it to the line for me and service it throughout most of the rallies. Our next rally is the Rest Point event, which I think is the second in the Tarmac Challenge, which is run by Octagon, and these are brilliantly run events. Although a couple of times we had some very healthy layovers, 20 minutes sitting waiting for a start, 30 minutes, which is a bit of a pain. Only one stage got cancelled this year, from memory it was Skyline. We did it once, should have done it twice. Unfortunately it was cancelled because of I don't know what. Now we're getting up to the top of the mountain here. Becomes quite interesting, and we are, oh my gosh, look at that, we've talked for nearly 7 minutes and you're still with me, so thank you for that. There's Ray bobbing around. What else can I tell you about that car? It's not very flash to look at, but geez, it's a bloody good machine, and we're sitting in that for sometimes 8 and 9 hours throughout the day, and those seats are pretty squashy. If you've driven in a race car, you'd know that there's not much room for lateral movement in them. There shouldn't be anyway. And it's a manual 5-speed. It's got a fair bit of grunt. It's lousy off the line though. The starts are atrocious. Something to do with the, I don't know much about it, but the clutch I think is a bit ordinary, and you can't put too much pressure on it because I've twice locked up the clutch plate to the flywheel, and that is no fun because it pretty much renders your whole rally finished. Quite a tight corner, that one just back there. And coming up shortly is Channel 7 corner. It's got a big Channel 7 billboard on there, and it's pretty much known as that. That is also a tight left-hander, but luckily with a wide exit. It's around the bend. I think this one coming up is a left, something or other, and then another left. But they go left and right. Here we go. Here comes the Channel 7 corner. Here's the billboard straight in front of us. And quite wide entry and exit, but tight. The asphalt they use up in the mountains apparently too is a little bit different than on the ground. It expands a bit more, has to, for some reason. And that's what causes some of the problems when we get all that gravel stuck in our tyres, because the tyres get so hot going up the mountain, even on days that aren't stinking hot. This is a right-hander, very tight. There's normally a crowd of people over on the left watching what's going on. Of course, in these sort of events, if you want to watch something in stage, you've got to be there before the roads are closed, and you can't get out until they have opened them again. So you're pretty much locked in for a heck of a long time, whereas with us, we just get to fang through there whenever we want. That's where the crowd is, on the left, as you can see a few cars. Yeah, and it's very rare that we actually notice any pedestrians. There was one clown standing on one of the stages in a very dangerous spot, and we were asked about him afterwards. I think that was Skyline, and if you have a look at the video already on YouTube, you can see him. I don't know why you would want to do that. And one rally in Perth at Targa West, we saw a fella riding a bike along the other side of the road. I don't know how stupid he is. This is the end of the stage. This is Mount Buller. It is 16.4 kilometres long, and we got up it twice without injuring ourselves.